Morning, it's day 3. My alarm went off 10 minutes ago, so it's like 6:10 right now. The reason you can't see my face is because it's so stinking dark. I'm not getting out of bed because even if I did, I couldn't see anything. So I would leave stuff at camp. So I'm going to wait probably another 10 minutes, 15, so it gets a little lighter. Which yesterday was right around 6:30, so, which means I've been laying in bed here for like 10, 11 hours. Kind of weird though, I didn't wake up till 6 today, so that is good. So I'm starting to get stuff all fixed up for the morning. I'm not sure of the time right now. Let me check. It's 6:45 right now. You can see just how dark it is. I'm taking my tent down. Most of the stuff is still underneath the tent. I just kind of set it down on top. And one of the reasons why it is light is there's the moon shining right now, but the sky is starting to light up here. But man, it is not, there's no light except for moonlight at 6:15, that's for sure. So it feels pretty warm this morning. It's really nice. The wind is starting to move a little bit in the trees, but there is a road next to me. And the first car I saw or heard was about just after 6. So good morning, day 3. Well, good morning again. It is day 3. It is 7:30 on the nose. Somehow I got out here at 7:30. I made the mistake of putting all my stuff in my pack basically on the picnic table as I moved it, as I cleaned the whole tarp area. That takes forever. I'm like repacking from scratch. It's way better just to shove it all in. The reason I do that though is to try and keep the things I need at the top of the pack. But once you open the pack, it really doesn't make any difference. There's just these little mental things that really slow you down. But am I in a hurry? Well, in the morning I kind of am, because that is prime hiking time. It's kind of like prime mental work time for Craig. Same kind of thing. So 7:30 is not bad though. Basically, it took me about 45 minutes. Had my nice early morning Starbucks, cold. Once you shake it up, it's nitro. It's super good. Really enjoyed that. So I'll start munching on a power bar along the way. The first water is in just over 3 miles. That's actually, I think, in the town of Stabler. I looked at that. That was where I was hoping there'd be a resupply place there when I was first planning the trip, but there's like nothing in that. It's not even like really a city. But I did drive by it though. The Windy River goes up there, and the Windy River Highway. And so I'm going to get on the main road. Main road, yeah. What I'm doing right now, I'm going to reconnect with the PCT. So this is kind of the road. People do drive this thing. I heard them all night. Not all night. They stopped about around 8:30, I think, right around there. They start today just after 6. So, and I'm not sure where they're going. They're to my right. There must be another road up there. It must be switchbacking around. Oh no, I see the road. That's weird. Oh yeah, they're switchbacking. They're just gonna come behind me. So usually I stick my poles out a little bit just so they see me. Whew. That's weird, man. So that must switch back above and come back. Anyway, I try and figure all this stuff out. Just curious. So, anyway, so I'm cruising. I have 3 miles to water. And it's going to be pretty much, I think, kind of flat and downhill till I get to Stabler. And this can start to go up a little bit. But I do have to get some elevation. I think most of it is tomorrow, though. So Sunday I got to go up, and then I go down Cascade Lock. So my goal today is 18 miles. I think that's Rock Lake. It's probably really beautiful if it's rock. That means it might be deep and all that. And if I get there in time, I definitely need to get the salt off the rest of my body, just the sweat. I can feel it. It doesn't feel great. But I'm actually really clean though, so that's good. Stuff is not drying at night. My socks actually got damper. So which is where I put them on, and I'm like, God, they feel kind of wet. And they were damp. And so anyways, I started using my second pair of socks, that I haven't used yet. So I put those on. Those feel good. But everything, all the equipment, everything is working great. There's no problems on any of that stuff. So I'm really happy about that. The barometer, it was 305. It's the same thing it was last night. So that's really good. It's kind of stabilized. So I'll be watching that closely. Not that I can do anything about it, but it's on my mind. All right, hike on. All right, first navigational mistake of the day. Can't believe this, man. I thought I should hit the trail by now. I've just only been hiking like 5 minutes, but I'm going the wrong way on the stinking paved road. Shoot, so I checked Hook. I'm like, man, I'm going the wrong way. Hate that crap. So my on-time departure turned out to be not such an on-time departure after all. Crap. All right, well, it turns out I was going the right direction. I just passed it. I noticed that's the trail right there. I was busy talking on the video and I just missed it. And this is the only other indication. Now, it was kind of strange. I was going to mention this, that these trail crossings on roads, unless it's a major road, usually they're very discreet. There's no signage, and they don't have the trail markers, like so you could see them on the roadway. And I actually really like that. It's kind of a safety thing, I think. They don't want to say, hey, this is the PCT. There's all sorts of people, and not so many people this time of year. So I personally really like that, except when I'm yakking away and I'm not paying attention. So I do feel better. I didn't go the wrong direction though. So, but see, now there's another little trailer right here, but then there's a nice sign right there. PCT north and south, and I am going south, so that's good. So I'm gonna go up and over a ridge here, and it's gonna drop me into Stabler, it's called, as I mentioned before, and that's where the Windy River is. I can water up there and figure out the rest of the plan. I just passed this, the first tree I actually really had to find my way through. I went over right there. I did not go under, but that must be fairly recent though, because they have been doing quite a bit of trail maintenance. You could tell the cuts were fairly fresh, so trees are always falling. So where is this thing? I just passed a tree that was across the trail. It was only about 6 inches in diameter. It wasn't like an evergreen. And I just stepped right over it, but it looked totally healthy. The leaves were like totally like brand new green. So it must have just fallen. And you can see where it fell, and it broke off from about 1.5 feet, 2 feet from the base. So why? I think, like, why would that tree fall? Why would it break 1.5 feet up from the bottom when it looks totally healthy? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Surrounded by trees, it's not like you're going to get this massive blow going through here. Can't figure it. Bothers me, man. All right, just crossed it. You can see it's a pretty good road. So just south, I think it's just south of me is Stabler, but there's nothing there. So interesting story about this was not only did I drive up this a few days ago, and then it does turn into gravel eventually from where I'm going, and there was a cutoff to Panther Creek on the way just before this, and that must have been that gravel road, and I saw multiple cutoffs to Panther Creek on this thing. But anyway, the story is I was coming up this road, because this goes all the way to, what's that, 14 Yeah, on the, you know, it's like the Washington 84 kind of thing. Goes all the way to the Columbia River, this thing. And the pavement on this thing is exceptional. You could kind of see some of that. And as I was driving up this thing, I had this weird feeling like, God, this looks kind of familiar. But, you know, like, really? What's going on with that? And there was this one portion that was super long and straight, but the pavement was immaculate and was really wide open. I'm like, God, I swear I've been on this thing, but I just couldn't figure it out. And then it got super windy. We're talking really windy, but the pavement was great. And I had like this feeling like, man, I've actually been on these turns before. It's like I had them memorized in my head. And then, a little further, there was a cutoff to the left, which would have been west, to Mount St. Helens. I'm like, aha, that was it. I've actually ridden my motorcycle a few years ago with my friend Terry. And we both had VFR 800 Interceptors. Mine was bright red. And we took that road. And we went up the Windy River Road. Then we cut across toward Mount St. Helens, past it. It would have been south of us. We were north of St. Helens. And then we hit 205 and went south back into Portland. But what was so shocking to me is that, especially the curves, I remember, because we actually stopped on the side of the road just to say, man, how awesome this road is. And like, I had this picture, like I was like on my bike with Terry right at this spot, and I could almost like feel the turns, because the turns were so fast and short. They're like, you know, boom, boom, boom. I mean, it was just like boom, boom. It was just motorcycles, you know, paradise. And so somehow I remembered that, and it must have been because when you're riding like that, you really have to concentrate, otherwise you fly off the road, right? Or you swerve in the other lane. So you really have to focus, and that focusing must have just embedded that in my brain. It was really kind of weird, but it was really a great remembrance of the great times on my motorcycle and riding with Terry. So I stopped riding my bike probably about 4 years ago. Pretty soon after we moved to the Oregon coast, and I'd never fallen on the bike. And, you know, everybody does fall eventually. And I felt really thankful that I hadn't. And I started surfing. So I said, you know, I'm just going to stop riding a bike. So I sold it and I started surfing. Water can be pretty hard, but it's not nearly as hard as asphalt. And you don't run into logging trucks and stuff like that. So it was a good move. And I've never had a regret doing that. But thinking about that trip with Terry, that was truly an epic ride. Yeah, for sure. So is that kind of bizarre? I don't recognize that. All right, go on. So I'm on a footbridge here. Never seen one like this. This is the Wind River. So, and it's pretty big. And this is basically into September we're looking at. And this looks like good fishing. Woo. Look at that. Oh, the sun's lighting up the trees. So I think I actually going to walk down, fill up my water. I think this might be the last water for a while, so I got to double check the map here. All right, well, I had cellular on the phone or on the bridge, so I thought I might, and so I decided to check, and sure enough, I had like 2 to 3 bars, so it was amazing. So I checked in with everybody, sent them my coordinates so they know where I am. I also actually called G and just to check in with her to confirm what we're going to be doing, which is pretty much what we said before. I'm going to meet here at 9 a.m. in the morning, right around Cascade Locks, or no, that's it, 9 a.m. in the morning. That's the plan. So what that means is that gives me a lot of flexibility. If I can camp on the trail. It's supposed to rain Sunday night pretty good, and Monday night, she said. So if I can get a really good deal, I may stay in a hotel, but I think the hotels by Cascade Locks are probably pretty expensive, so I might just do the tarp. Good news is, though, Wednesday and Thursday, last couple days, look like the weather's going to be okay. So it may be a little sprinkle or two, but we're going to be good. So now there's this giant field behind me here, kind of lit up in the sun. I'm walking next to it. So that's pretty cool. So pretty excited about that. So I still have, today's a super big day, and of course tomorrow's a super big day as well. And for sure Sunday night I'm going to get rained on, and Monday night. So tomorrow night I need to pick a good campsite so I don't get wet from at the bottom. So that's going to be really important. So I have multiple water sources here until the next 4 miles for sure. And that 4 mile one's supposed to be a really good one according to Gut Hook. So that's probably where I'm going to kind of stop and have my breakfast, and I'll reassess where I'm at. And that's probably going to mean I've hiked 4, 5, 6 or 7 miles by then. So that would actually be a really great way to start the trip. I have had one of those big power 20 power bars, those 20-gram bars. So I've already had like 10 grams of protein. So I kind of do that on the trail too. All right, hike on. Looks like I get to walk on something new today. Ooh. Now you think you're in the outback and the outdoors, and then there's like, they look like a water faucet to you. Oh, man, I think we're heading toward that sign way down there, which would be really useful if there was snow here. Wow, man, this is loving it. Trout Creek it's called, and I have 10.4 miles to Rock Creek, so that means I've gone about 6 miles. So really haven't had breakfast yet. I hadn't had my oatmeal, so I just put the water in that, and probably in 45 minutes I'll stop and I will have that. And there's water in about 7 miles, so I'm looking good. So I'm not going to carry a bunch of water. Beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. Barometer's holding steady just like it was yesterday at 30.05. It is really warm, very comfortable. So, oh, you probably heard that. Somebody's doing some rifle practice. That first shot, after a little bit, then there's been a bunch of shots, so. And I talked to somebody, I passed a couple people here. I'm just out for a hike, and they said, oh yeah, they just go shooting up the road there. So I'm like, okay, so we're good. Say, one thing I want to mention was my legs, the tops of my thighs are kind of a little sore. It's like if you beginning of track or cross country season, you just feel that kind of tightness in your legs. And I haven't felt that in years. And the only thing I can attribute it to is because I changed kind of my workout here a couple weeks before this trip. I did do a 12 mile a couple weeks ago. There's pretty much 6 up and 6 down. That's not unusual. What is unusual is around the house, I've been trying to do some more miles. And so I took a longer, more gradual up and down, I'll say route, as opposed to doing the steeper up, steeper down, that kind of thing. Just the trails right around where I live. And I think that even though wasn't long duration, but the steepness of up and the down did something to my legs, which is good. So in the future, even though I might not get the miles I want, I think I need to do that steeper up and down, that kind of rolling up and down and that kind of thing, because my thighs are definitely feel different. I mean, they don't hurt or anything. It's just that I can tell that they're not normal. There's nothing like I felt even on the Tahoe trip, rim trip, or the Laos. Haven't had this kind of thing in years. So it's interesting how your preparations make a big difference on these trails. So there's the trail here, and I think it's a really good lookout spot to have some oatmeal, kind of relax, make sure my battery's getting charged up, just about everything. Oh, there's the meadow I walked through, right there, or somewhere around there. Beautiful, really nice. Or maybe beyond that, there might be another one. I don't know. Anyways. So I can't see any big peaks right now. Oh, there's something very, very top right there in the distance. I see a little white. Maybe that's Adams. I don't really know. There's a big river below, right where I'm pointed now. I can hear it. All right, time for some oatmeal. So I was just right up here, so I just kind of walked around. There's some nice little, I'm thinking, oh, this looks pretty good. And then like, check this out. Whoa. We're talking straight down, folks. Yeah, there's nothing here but cliff. So this is a pretty cool spot. You can see down there. Just about finishing my breakfast. I'm having another nitro cold soak. Super tasty, but the oatmeal was really good. It was that Umpqua stuff that we got in, I think, Lake Tahoe area. Yeah, so that stuff was super good. So I had some of that. It had some apples in it, so that was really nice. And then I'm gonna have some electrolytes. I'm gonna have some of that at the end. So I met a guy named Dave. He has a little dog. I met him at the river down there, Trout Creek. And he actually, guy passed when he caught up with me here. He figured, he saw my stuff and he says this, and he said, oh, I was going to tell you about this spot. Because this is just, I mean, this is incredible, right? I mean, I showed it to you earlier. I'm just looking at this. And I'm listening to the guys doing their rifle target practice or whatever they're doing down there. So the sun is kind of on me. Yeah, there you can kind of see it. But that's kind of where I'm at. I'm just kind of hanging out on this spot right here. So it's really nice. So there's no water for about 7 miles, 7 point something from here. So it's a little ways. So, yeah, so I have enough water. I'll be fine and all that. And I'll probably stop and have lunch part way there, which is going to be Fritos and nuts again. I'm actually really looking forward to that. Yeah. I gone. Just decided to take a trail break. I mean, literally, trail break. Just sat down on the trail where I can get my legs lower. Gonna have some of my electrolytes right now. I'm over 2,900 feet right now, so I don't see it going down. So I think I'm gonna go over 3,000, which is fine. So feeling pretty good. It's about 11:30 right now. So I think it was 11:30 or 12:30. 12:30. So I'm probably going to have around 1:32 where I have my official lunch. And then I'll probably after that I'll be coming pretty quick. I'll be coming to the water source, so I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, and everything's working the way it's supposed to be working, so that's really good. Haven't met anybody else on the trail. Still hitting the spider webs, so I don't know if I'm gonna hit anybody going northbound right now. Probably day hikers, maybe tomorrow as I get closer to Cascade Locks. People doing the PCT North, you know, they better be north of me, or they're going to be in a world of hurt. I don't see how they're going to get to Canada. So, barometer is holding steady. So, time to have some electrolytes. So I just was at a really good spot where I could see really far south. And I could see 2 towers like way in the distance. So I decided to check and see if I had cell coverage. I had like 3 bars, something like that. Surprising given that I'm using AT&T. Anyways, there's like 8 texts came in. I forgot to tell you that when I texted Gabrielle, hold on a second, the trail's splitting here, I gotta check it. All right, we're good. Yeah, there's legitimate split, no sign. Well, you know, I didn't look close. Anyways, so yeah, a bunch of texts came in. So I forgot to tell you, before I forget. So when I called Gabrielle this morning, it was like at 8:25, right? So she didn't, it went to her voicemail. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna leave a message. So she calls me back like right away and says, hey, Dad. I'm like, what's up? She goes, I'm asleep. You woke me up. I said, it's 8:30. She said, but it's Saturday. I'm like, oh yeah, forgot it's Saturday. Sorry, because usually she'd be done with CrossFit and her day would be going. Anyway, so I thought that was good. It's good for a daughter to know her dad cares, wants to call her in the morning, wake her up. So anyway, so all these texts come in. So Katrina said, she said, hey, it's supposed to snow this weekend in Timberline, which is probably Sunday night is my guess. And I said, so Gabrielle said, oh yeah, but we're not going to be there till like Thursday. And we're going to be, the max height we're going to be is like 4,000 feet. And that's going to be the day before we go to Timberline. So, which is up 6,000 feet. It's like no big deal. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So the thing too is that we cross a ravine before we make that last, you know, that last day. And there's no bridge because it's a ravine and it washes out. It's different every year. So we're gonna have to walk through that. So which means our shoes are gonna get, you know, completely wet and everything like that. So yeah, that's kind of the way it is though when you do that trail. At least that's what I think is that we have to do, if I can remember correctly in my conversation with Gabrielle. So, all right, about another half hour or so, and I'm going to have my lunch of tasty Fritos and nuts. So good. I'm walking through a lot of Silao today. If I'm not in the forest, I see it. The interesting thing is that there's berries on the Silao, so it's that time of year. I mean, they're all over. Now, supposedly they're edible, but not that great. And I guess that kind of makes sense. You think about it, right? You have raspberry, huckleberry, blueberry, strawberries, then you have Silao. There's not like, you don't hear, hey, I'd like some Silao berries. No, it's just Silao. So that kind of, you know, makes sense. This looks like might be a good spot for lunch. I don't see any epic lunch spot. So let's take a look down here. Oh, got a little spot. Oh yeah. Well, that's gonna be nice. There's some little peak out there with the radio tower, some kind. Yeah, on some nice little rocks right here. pretty much straight down. All right, eat. Well, I am loving my setup for lunch right now. So let me show you what's happening. First of all, I am doing some UV sanitization of my toes. I even have some nice little fuzz from the socks on there, which is nice. And we're airing out the shoes as well and the socks. I want to make sure these things are as dry as I can get them. In fact, oh, it's my hat. In fact, I should probably give them a quick turn right now. Yeah, like that. And for lunch, I believe I actually did it. I actually ate. This is some buffalo style. Yeah, there was a little bit of buffalo on that, so hopefully there will be no revenge of buffaloism. And of course I had my Fritos, whoops, this way, my Fritos, and some lunch, or some nuts as well. So I'm pretty stoked. So a little low on the water right now, but I think water is within 2 miles, so I'll be okay. So I'm gonna start hiking in just a sec. All right, well, I'm back on the trail again. Time for the sunglasses. Got some sun on me now. I don't know what the elevation is here. Just over 3,000, so I think we're on our way down. Passed a couple guys went by me just like, a couple minutes ago. They're going to Rock Creek also. They're going to check out the situation from there because we know there's water there. They might go further, but I don't know. The problem with that though is the next water might be, I think is, I don't know, 10 miles. I don't know. I'll check that out. The problem is though, is that when you water up, you got to have water, not only for dinner and breakfast, but until the next water. So 10 miles is pretty far for me. I'm not sure I actually want to do that. So we'll find out, but we'll check it out. But it's just a little bit after 2. So it's 4.3 miles. So if it's 2 o'clock, probably right around 3. I mean, at the latest, really, we're going downhill. I think we got to be there. It's 2 miles an hour. Yeah, 2 miles an hour downhill. I better make it there. So anyways, so that's what's happening. Really good lunch. Yeah, and I had a epic beef bar. I didn't know I had that in there. So I'm actually saving that in case I want that this afternoon. Otherwise, it goes in the common bag, which is what I draw from if I want something that's not scheduled to have. So, all right, so hike on. There's a quick update on the charging situation, the solar charge. So it's going pretty good. I dropped below last night when I finally, charged it up again. It dropped. It was at 3 bars instead of 4. So what I typically do now is I try and charge at lunchtime. And that's because if it's already full during the day, then it's not going to charge anymore. So I'd rather drain it in the middle of the day when I know there's still sunlight. So if it needs to charge, it actually will charge. And so that's what I've been doing. So what I did this yesterday and today is that I charge it around lunchtime. And I used it so much yesterday, I dropped it 70%. So I charged it at night as well. And then of course I turned the phone completely off at night. And this is actually working really good. So I just charged it up again. It's over 80%, so that's cool. And what I'll do then, hopefully it'll charge up anything that it gave me on my phone just now. It'll be recharged by tonight, and so that will be awesome. So I start in the morning with a fully charged battery. If not, it'll charge up in the morning, and I'll charge my phone in the afternoon. Now, the trick though is that we're in a lot of green right now, so it doesn't charge as quick like in the Wallowas. It charges really fast. The other thing is when the clouds come in, the charging really slows down. So that could be a potential issue. But Gabrielle always seems to have a little extra battery charge that I can borrow. So we'll see how that goes. Hike on. All right. Finally something that worthy of reporting, of the mysteries of the trail that it unveils. So I could see in front of me kind of the bend was going my direction. I'm thinking, there's 2 bare-chested guys.
around the trail right there. I'm like, what the heck is that? I mean, I'm like, all right. So I get closer, and just to make sure everything was good, I'm like, hey guys, how's it going? You know, a little distance from them, they're like, hey, it's going great, man. I'm like, well, that's good. And so I could tell right away. One of them had this huge beer belly. Yeah, they look like in their mid-30s. The other guy's your typical kind of skinny guy with headphones. And I'm like, what are these guys doing out here, man? You know, they're like, hey, it's a great fall day, isn't it? I'm like, nice and warm. And they're like, yeah, man. So they were stoked, right? And I said, so where'd you guys start? They're like, oh, we started at Cascade Locks today. I'm like, whoa, dude, they've been going uphill all day. And I said, so where you ending up? They're like, oh, we're gonna get picked up at Trout Creek. If you remember, that's where I watered up today, my first big water there. I said, well, how far is that? They go, it's 27 miles. I'm like, whoa, dude, you guys are like maybe halfway through or something like that, you know? I'm like, well, you guys better get going. They're like, yeah, man. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. You know, it takes all kinds. And I'm stoked that those guys are on the trail, because if more people get on the trail, even with big beer bellies, I think the world would be a little better place, you know? The mysteries on the trail are just unfathomable.
I'm going to start taking more pictures like this. I mean, it's really neat. I feel like I'm in some ancient forest or something. This just feels like something out of a movie or something. I mean, this is weird. So this is the stream I've been waiting for the last few miles. Actually, since I think whenever I last watered up, so I was able to get my bottle and that water in there, and I just filled up about 3/4 because I'm not that far away from that creek actually, so I didn't need tons. But yeah, that's really nice. All right, well, this is Rock Creek. I was planning on spending the night here because there's plenty of water. And a nice bridge. This thing must gush in the wintertime, in the spring. Oh, look at that giant pool down there. Woo! Now you can smell the creosote or whatever they dip these things in. Whatever. Ooh, different colors though. Check that out. Yeah. Oh, that is kind of
All right, what I need to figure out if I want to camp here or not and hike a little further. I'm not sure. There's a campsite. I know they're around here. I just passed one, but it's going to be dark for boating, and also it's going to be colder out here. The temperature's already pretty chilly, but I mean, what's the elevation? 1,600 feet. Sneaking little bug things land on my phone. All right. Wow, here's the pool. The water is crystal clear. It just kind of goes. This is really a neat spot here. Pretty wet though. I was just sitting by this log here, and there was the end of the bridge. I just noticed how pretty it was. So the dilemma here is it's just about 4 o'clock, and I don't want to arrive in a camp any later than 5:30. I just don't really, I mean, 6 o'clock's okay if I know there's a good camp there. I feel pretty good. I could do a couple miles, no problem right now. So I'm gonna get on gut hook and check it all out now. All right, so here's the situation. It's gonna be cold here tonight. I can just tell. It feels cold. There's a creek, lots of rocks that are cold. So that makes me want to move on. Okay. The problem is the next campsite is just about 3,100 feet. We're at just under 1,500. And it's 4.1 miles or whatever away. So, and it's about 4:10 in the afternoon. For me to hike 1,500 feet, 4 miles at 4 o'clock, and I've done 17 miles, I think, today. That's going to put me over 20 miles, 21, right, if you do the math. That's something I really don't want to do unless I have to, even though that would be pretty cool. The problem with that, though, is it's uphill, and I figure it's going to take me at least a couple hours to do that. Okay. I always go slower at the end of the day, and I always go slower than I think because I do a lot of video. All right, what's that load? So, what's my alternative? Oh, the other thing is it's at 3,400 feet, so it's going to be colder up there for sure. And comments were it's a beautiful campsite. You know, you can see all around you. Somebody commented it's kind of windy. Okay, what does that mean? No coverage, tons of wind. It's going to be a colder night for Craig. I'm going to be totally exhausted. It's going to be starting to get slightly dark when I get there. So, no. But I still don't want to camp down there. So, we cross a road, a dirt road. I heard a car a little while ago. 0.7 miles. Oh, the other thing is, this is reportedly this last main water source for, I don't know, 5 something miles. I forget what it is. So if I hike basically that next campsite, I got to carry the water here for 4.5 miles or 4 miles also. Not super excited about that, all right? All right. So an alternative, I cross the dirt road, 0.7 miles. It's up a couple hundred feet, maybe something like that. Super close, no problem getting there. And there's campsites, wherever there's dirt roads, it's gotta be some flat stuff. And then there's definitely some camp spots, some flat spots there. And it's not recorded in Gut Hook officially, but a few of the comments were there's a pool there, like for water. So there must be some water there, but it's not official. Yeah, quite the dilemma, right? So what I did, I fully, completely topped off my 2-liter water bottles. I did not use my extra reservoir thing that I carry. I can stick another 2.5 liters in that. I'm not going to do that. So I have a full 2+ liters of water. And if there's water at this place, all the better. If not, I'll definitely be okay today. Tomorrow morning, I'm just going to hike it. And I'll get to the next water, which I forget where it is, but it's totally doable. So especially in the morning time. And once I get up that, I don't get super high tomorrow. Oops, excuse me. And my arms are getting tired. Yeah, I can get to that water tomorrow, I don't think, without any problems. So anyway, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so here is the dirt road. And notice there's a little more sunshine, which I love. Open spaces, which I love. Nothing worse than a gully. It's all wet and damp. So let's see what's on the other side. I don't see anything right here. This should be the trail. Usually they have a marker. I mean, they have this old thing with nothing on it. Yeah, let's walk down here just a little bit, see what's going on. Well, I've seen the other one of those by the trail, but that could also mean that tree's going out. All right, so I'll check Gut Hook and see where the campsites are, because there's definitely something around here. So this is the second turn. I'm walking up the road. I don't want to go down. I'm still super close. I'm not like far. Maybe a couple 100 yards, something like that. Not much. So I'm hoping it looks a lot flatter right here. The road is just too steep. So we'll see what I can find here, but it's not looking too optimistic. All right, so there's no spot that I feel comfortable with. I mean, if this was a closed road, yeah, I'd probably do it on the side of the road here. But I'm telling you, man, I don't want to hear a logging truck come ripping by me 5 a.m. or 8 tonight or whenever, or some drunken guy, you know, whatever. So it's really not going back, right? I feel good. So what I'm going to do, oh, and I do not want to climb another 1,500 feet, even though I've done already a couple hundred. So what I'm going to do is, by the way, I'll probably be okay anyways. It's not going to be stinking cold tonight. I mean, it's still crystal clear. Even if clouds came in, all that's going to do is make it warmer. It's not going to make it colder. So it's not supposed to be cold. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go back on the trail, and I'm going to hike until I find a place to camp is what I'm going to do. So since we're going to be going uphill, it's probably, I'm not going to be in gullies and stuff like that. I just don't, there's a lot of sunlight shining around here. So I'm going to take my chances. So I'm going to do that. Worst case scenario, I end up 4 miles from here and it's practically dark. You know, when I get there, see, like there's a little spot like right behind me right here. But I just don't like that. I can hear cars. I can hear trucks. It could be coming up here. That's a little too weird for me. So, all right, so I'm going to get the trail. Yeah, car's coming right up here. I can hear this thing. So, all right, I'll check back later. Just some kid in a big pickup truck, just kind of cruising. That's why I'm not going to camp on the side of the road. All right, so back on the PCT. It's right in front of me right here. I'm not going to miss it. And I'll check back in a couple minutes, I'm sure. Well, it looks like I'm going to that campsite. There's nothing here. I double checked again. It's 3.3 miles away, so I'm making pretty good time. It is now 4:48 though, so it's gonna be about 6:30. I don't know. It's gonna be really late when I get into camp. So basically, pitch the tent, have dinner, and go to bed. Which, hey, that's nothing wrong with that. So the thing is, it's at 3,200 feet. Okay, I am right now at about 1,900, which means next 3 miles, I'm gonna be going up. That really hasn't started much. So, heck, I don't know. But I'm gonna make it. So it's on the map. I'll know exactly when I'm there and all that kind of stuff. So, hike on, the journey does continue. So, a couple things on my mind here. First of all, I'm sure I'll make it to that Three Corners campsite. And Three Corners probably means there's only one way. Like, you're exposed to 3 corners, by the way. That's my guess. It's going to be 21 miles for me for the day. I'll double check that. But yeah, that's pretty amazing. But it's kind of one of those things where yeah, it's really cool. But it's like a guy who travels in airplanes and it gets like the 1K award or whatever he does. It's like, dude, that's really nothing to be proud of. That means you're on the road like all the time. And so what I mean by that is that, yeah, I make 21 miles on my 3rd day, but the real awesomeness is when you can make 21 miles after you've been out for a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, something like that. You might say, well, yeah, but after you're out for a week, it's going to be easier. Not if you keep doing that every day. Just think about the fatigue and all the other stuff that sets in. So, yeah, I can do it. And I'll say, yeah, that's really cool and everything, but I'd rather not have to do it. So, well, there were some comments in Guthook that there are mice at this place. So they said to hang your food. I'm like, great. I'll probably have to hang my pack also because my pack probably smells a little bit like food and I don't want mouse holes in my awesome pack. So anyway, so I want to mention that. There's something else too, since I got you. What this means is I'm going to get to Cascade Locks tomorrow really early. We're talking, I haven't checked, but it's got to be like lunchtime. Now, I don't mind hanging out at Cascade Locks all day if it's not raining. That's the problem. It's supposed to be raining tomorrow. So I'd rather be hiking than sitting outside somewhere. So I got to figure out where I'm going to sit tomorrow. I'm going to go to a coffee shop and sit there for 6 hours. I don't know what I'm going to do. So that's a problem I have not anticipated. I need to figure out what the heck I'm going to do tomorrow. Maybe there's a hostel. I've never stayed in a hostel, but this could be the best time for me to stay in a hostel with it raining, and at least I have a warm bed, fully recharged, get Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. So who knows? Tomorrow will be a day, yet another mysteries of the trail revealed. So, hike on. Quick update. It's now 5:05, and I have 2.5 miles to go to get there. I'm at just under, basically 2,000 feet. So, still got, some climbing to do. Hoping I'll get there before dark. Sure I will, but yeah, I'll keep you posted. It's 5:51. Have 0.5 miles left. I'm at 3,039 feet. I'm almost there. I think the campsite is actually a short walk off the trail. I'm not sure, but well, you can't see this at the moment. There are mountains views all around me right here. I say there's a pretty good chance I'm going to get a sunset tonight. I don't know. Hike on. All right, so I don't know, I must have been looking at the wrong thing. I still got 0.3. but that's because there's an outlook, an old fire outlook platform around, but I'm not going to go there because it's just, it's too high and too potentially windy. Okay, that's the mountain there. That might be Adams, I'm not sure, but where I'm going, it's supposed to be epic, and it's 0.3 miles. It's basically flat. I've done all the elevations, so I just have to cruise now. So, I mean, you can see it's just really, really pretty. The sun's right up there. There are a few clouds now. First time I've seen any kind of clouds. There's actually some smoke in the valley, which I haven't seen before. Barometer is holding steady, hasn't moved at all today, 30.03. So I don't think I'm gonna get any rain tonight. So, yeah, this is crazy, man. But I'm doing good though. Still probably running on adrenaline right now. I'm super sweaty. It's temperature's already starting to drop a little bit. So as soon as I get to camp, I can drink some more water. I still have nearly all of my 2 liters left. I'm gonna drink some electrolytes right away. Put warm clothes on right away. Let that sweat evaporate while I stay warm. So, got to keep my head on here so I don't get chilled tonight. But I'm really excited that I made it this far. Feels like quite an accomplishment, but kind of like the accomplishment that I talked about before, but still an accomplishment. I don't know what the view is going to be like exactly, so, but I definitely can see 3 peaks right now. Right there's Mount St. Helens. That in the distance, that is probably Rainier. And then right here, it's gonna be Mount Adams, which I was planning on going to originally, but that was just too far north. Couldn't figure that one out food-wise. So Adams, Rainier, St. Helens. All right, quite a day. Woohoo! Yeah. All right, so the saga continues because I got to the spot. There's 2 tent sites and there's 2 guys, 2 tents each. Yeah, so I got to find a spot. So those were the scenic views and everything. It's going to be epic tomorrow. They said they saw a couple little spots. It's basically like a Christmas tree farm. This is obviously they logged it and replanted, and they replanted like 1 million trees in here. So I'm kind of backtracking now so I can find a spot, because yeah, that's a bummer. That is an epic spot. There's a little spot they're cooking in, but there's no way I can get my tarp in that. So, that's what happens. That's kind of the way it is. So they started at Trout Creek, they said. So that's where I watered up. Remember that? All right, I'm gonna keep looking. All right, so there's no place to camp except on the trail, which I seriously considered, but there is this side trail that goes 1/3 of a mile. Doesn't go up, it's just to the side here, which is gonna give me the sunset. Epic views, including Mount Hood. But, and it does reconnect to the trail, so I don't have to backtrack. So I backtracked not a quarter of a mile. I don't know, a little bit. But man, ooh, I feel the warmer wind now coming up the valley. But I'm not sure how exposed I'm gonna be. I see some teepee, that's always nice, huh? So I'll check back. It's getting pretty late. It's 6:27 right now. So I will definitely get there. Well, pretty close to sunset. How about that? So I heard some kind of a motorcycle type thing, and I can see some tracks right here. So I think this is a motorized trail out to the campsites right here. So I heard some people. So it'd be kind of fun to have some people out here tonight, actually. But I think those might be motorcycles. Sounded like a Ducati. The clutch on it was kind of interesting. So pretty close. Jeez. Yeah. This better be epic views, man. I'm telling you. It's crazy. Okay. All right, I'm getting close to something here. It's not walking on the moon, but be pretty close. I think there's some people up here. See some rocks right there. It's called 3 rocks or 3 corners. Something like that. Oh yeah. Woo. Oh yeah, there's spots up here. Oh, bitch. Oh, excuse me. Woo! Yay, 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 yay! Wow. I just gotta find a protected spot and I'm good. Nice hawk up there. Getting some heat from the radio tower. Maybe I'll get cell up here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you wouldn't believe what I can see here. That's the Columbia River down there sparkling just to the left of that tree in the middle. All right, let's head up to the rocks, see what's up there, see if I can find a spot around here, and then watch the spectacular sunset starting to set up. All right, you guys ready for this? This is epic. Check this out. Columbia River is down there. Going south. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's not check out the tower, just assume that's not there. Of course, that's Mount Hood. I can camp anywhere around here too. All right, still looking good. See some smoke down there. Again, that's my guess is that's probably Adams right there. I'm gonna adjust my feet here on some rocks. Coming up, I barely see that. That is probably Rainier. And then clearly, that is Mount St. Helens. And then I got this big pile of rock which is blocking my sunset. So I'll move in, we'll get right to that. Woo! Woo! There. Anyway, he's up there. Super nice, man. I gotta find a place to camp here. I don't wanna be like right next to the tower. You need to go to a weather station up here. You have to be down there in the road, I think. Oh, there's Mount Hood. Let's get back to that. Nice. That's glorious. Blue. Check that out, man. No, the weather station, not the sunset. That is a serious weather station. State of Washington Department of Natural Resources. I gotta hook into those guys. It is looking very regal. I need to find a place to camp. I'm having a difficult time here. I really don't want to camp like right next to this thing. I really don't want to do that. Shoot. I gotta find us a place quick. It's getting dark. Or will get dark. That's where I'm going to pitch my tarp. Somehow right next to this road. It's totally blocked by the wind. It's gorgeous. Alright, so if you want to see my stove before, that's what it looks like at nighttime. There's a lot of flame coming out of that thing right now. It's for my mac and cheese tonight. A little windy up here. All right, so it's about 8:45. I got camp set up, had some dinner, mac and cheese. I'm tired. It was okay. So I'm not sure how Gaia and the gut hook have differences but I somewhere hiked between 21 and like 25 miles. I'm not sure what. You guys know about the trail, and I went back and I'm at this 3 rock thing or whatever. So I am up at my elevation on my watch. Shows me at just over 3,600. So that's pretty high. It's probably the highest one. It might be the highest I've camped. I did 38,000 steps. What the heck? 5,200 calories. I don't think I've ever done that before. I don't know. Anyways, the barometer's steady at 30.03. It's been like that, I think, all day today. It was a little higher yesterday, and the day before was higher, but there are some clouds, but they're high clouds in the sky right now, so the rain's I don't think going to happen tonight. So from what I can tell, I have about 8 to 9 miles to hike to Cascade Locks tomorrow. So, like, what do I do when I get there? That's the whole thing. So, I mean, I really don't want to pay money to get a hotel. They're relatively cheap, but they're still, you know, over $100. So, I'm not sure what to do about that. I really don't want to sit around the rain and then camp in the rain. And what I need to do, if I don't do that, then I'm going to have to stay outside of Cascade Locks in Washington at a campsite. And that doesn't sound really, really good either. So, I don't know. I'll figure that out tomorrow. We'll see how I'm feeling in the morning. There's really no rush, so I'm just going to take my time in the morning and probably get some videos of some epic views, because it is staggering, and it should be clear tomorrow morning. I'm hoping. If it's clear tomorrow morning, I'm going to have some fantastic videos. So that's about it for today. How am I feeling? I am feeling really tired right now. I just downed a bunch of electrolytes, mac and cheese, and some of the epic beef bar thing. When I had that beef bar, I'm just like, oh, that didn't settle well with me. So I have all sorts of stuff floating around in me. I was super thirsty. I have about 3/4 of a liter max, and that needs to get me for 5.5 miles. That's my first water. So I'm not going to have any coffee tomorrow morning. I'm just going to be drinking water till I hit that water. And then once I'm at the water, I mean, shoot, man, I'm practically, you know, a few miles from Cascade Locks. So I'll probably stop at the water, try and figure out what the heck I'm going to be doing. So I'm optimistic. A lot of highs today. Some frustrating lows. I was bummed those 2 guys had the camping sites. That would have been really nice. They were sweet campsites. They're kind of tucked away in the trees, and you could see east. So it was really, really nice, but there's just no way I could camp there. So, but I would have never came up here either. So it's pretty neat up here. And I got a campsite, like I kind of told you. I'm kind of tucked in right on the berm of the road, on the outside of the road. I'm really just kind of really tucked in tight, and it's a cool little spot. I'll show you that in the morning. So that's it for today. Quite a day. I'm barely thinking straight, so I just need to go to sleep. Good night.